thank you everybody for joining us at the Black and Global Business Network. I am Melissa Muhammad, the founder and CEO, and we are beyond excited. I mean, when I tell you beyond excited to have a conversation today with Arun Venkataraman from the U.S. Department of Commerce. And Arun is a very pivotal figure, very key figure. We had a fantastic opportunity to meet him and his team when we went on the minority business development and on the minority business focused trade mission to Italy, Portugal, and Spain. So Arun, how are you today?
I am doing great. How could I not be great? It's so great seeing you, even if it's only on the screen for now. We had fun getting to know each other in Europe and was so excited to learn about the amazing work that you are doing that is very much, the kind of partner that we need to help us get our job done.
Awesome. So just having a fireside chat today, Arun, can you tell us about who you are and what you do?
So my name is Arun Venkataraman, and I'm the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Global Markets and the Director General of the U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service. So my job in this position is what we do here is we help companies export. And all that means is, we talk a lot about exporters and exporting. All that means is you just got customers that live outside of the country. Sometimes there's some additional requirements that can be new. And so our job here is to really support U.S. businesses in international markets, because we know that when we do that, we create jobs at home, we improve lives for workers and families in the United States, and we support U.S. economic prosperity. So we're here to help make people's lives better.
So that is very in line with what we do. So starting there, why do you think that a business should consider selling internationally?
Melissa, I don't want to be flip about it, but for me, it really just comes down to the fact that who's going to say no to more customers? Look, we got a big domestic country with a big domestic economy. A lot of businesses can sell down the street and do really well. And I hear that. But, there is a whole world out there that wants your stuff and they want it bad. And why should we let other countries sell it to them? We've got such smart entrepreneurs in this country that are doing cutting edge work, that are producing just the coolest stuff. It is still true that everyone is like, when they hear something's made in America, the stars light up. It means something to them. I mean, to me, it's just like, go get them. I think there's just such an opportunity out there.
The second piece is talk to us about your office being a service organization and what we should expect when we come to your team.
First of all, you should know that our team knows where you are. So many of my colleagues that work in our field offices throughout the United States are former small business owners or have worked for companies before or have worked for state economic development organizations. So they are in the business of understanding your needs and meeting your needs, particularly when it comes to reaching new customers outside of the United States. They're also there to really appreciate that we get the fact that it's not easy. And so they are there to help you incorporate the foreign side into your business plans. We know that y'all already got your business plans in place. You're doing well. You're making things and selling them. And that's really important. What we can do is bring that additional plus factor into it and help you integrate that into what is already your business plan. I should also note that we work very closely with our other sister government agencies like the Small Business Administration and the Minority Business Development Administration. And both of these agencies are also strongly committed to helping small businesses get stood up and make that first sale, whether it's domestically or internationally. And then we're there to help folks kind of take it to that next level.
And, we are serving as a bridge, Arun, because we are taking companies step by step to come to you and to open the door and to sit down to have the conversation. And being in the meeting that I'm having or being a part of today, it's amazing that I saw 19 Black-owned businesses with more than 10 million in sales a year. I am when I tell you I have goosebumps, because one of them I've already talked to, right? And they do fantastic sales. I asked them, do you know that the U.S. Department of Commerce can help you sell globally? He said no. He never heard of it. And this is why it is so pivotal for us to open this conversation or to have this conversation. So, talking about the structure of your organization, can you share with everybody how you're structured and organized?
The U.S. Commercial Service is part of the Department of Commerce's International Trade Administration. That's the big organization that we are part of. But the U.S. Commercial Service is a subset, and we were created in 1980. And the entire purpose of our mission, really, they took these foreign service officers out of the State Department and made these foreign commercial officers. And our job is to support U.S. businesses in these international markets. And we do that because we've got these amazing trade promotion and policy professionals all over our country. We have over 100 locations in the US and in over 70 countries around the world. And when we talk about helping businesses, we're not really talking about helping the big guys. Over 92% of our clients are small and medium-sized businesses. And they're the ones that we spend day in, day out with, that we go to their offices, we sit down with them. We want to hear what they're looking to do. We use the tools that we have to say, okay, I hear you. Here's what you bring to the table. Now, let me tell you a market that I think would be really good for that product. So we can match the knowledge and the tools that we have with what you are doing with your business and help you identify where are the markets that you need to go to that are likely to produce the most success. And we can help you enter that market by even finding you some of your initial customers.
And when we were in Europe, we got a fantastic opportunity. Awesome team. I've sent all of them emails to thank them. They've done a fantastic job. And not only that, we've started to do follow-up meetings for our clients. So one client in particular, he was a part of our brochure. We featured him to the different groups when we were there in Europe in all three countries. Then we came back and we started to set up for him to do follow-up meetings. He is a part of a group. So he does ICT, data security, cybersecurity, all of that technical stuff. But let me tell you, he is a part of an organization of Black cybersecurity, tech, AI, automation people. You know how many people are in their organization? 23,000. Isn't that insane? I saw the automation people moving and I was like, okay, hold on. It was so surreal for me. And so what we did was, because the president of that organization wants to we invited him to come along with our client so that he can see step by step as we take our client through the process, so he can become an ambassador to the other members of his organization, so they can know that these are in fact opportunities that are available. How about we already have 2 partner presentations set up?
Wow. That's awesome. Melissa, that makes me so happy, because our problem is that we don't know enough about this, right? When you tell me there are 23,000 people that are part of this organization, I'm like, where are they and how do I get at them, right? Because that's what we're missing out on, and we've got to get connected. I mean, this is why your organization is so critical for us. I mean, we've got to have that connective tissue to the people that can, help us sync up with those that can take advantage of our services. Because my view is, I tell this to everyone all around. We have services to offer. Y'all paid for these services. These are taxpayer dollar services that we've developed. All of the intelligence we have about these markets and what's going on the ground, we got that because y'all paid for us to hire people and put them on the ground and learn that stuff.
Exactly.
We want to get that information back to you because that's your information.
Yes, exactly. And we're boots on the ground. We are literally boots on the ground. We're very results oriented, doing an international contract, getting our clients to the table, and just creating an awareness and a conversation. And it's been quite amazing to see the level of response. So it takes me to the next conversation, the October 23, 28 trade mission that Commerce is having to the Caribbean. So our goal is to participate in that trade mission. And because last year we worked with the CARICOM was a part of our conference last year. And they said their Deputy Secretary General spoke at our conference last year. And he said, Melissa, we don't see Black American people in the Caribbean. So we started to have a conversation, and I said, well, how can we bring our products and services there? And he said, we want you to look at the Caribbean as a big field because we import virtually everything. And this is where he got me. He said, our printing takes place in China. I agreed with him last year that we would have a focus in 2022 on going to the Caribbean. And not knowing synergies lined up that in October, you all are going to have this trade mission. So, Arun, we have a very ambitious goal. You know, I'm an ambitious girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first 2 days are in Miami, and it's only a conference, right? And then the rest of the days is traveling. You can choose from 1 or 2 countries. So what we're saying to everybody is, look, if just come to Miami for the first 2 days, just for the business conference, even if you're not at the point where you want to export, just come for the first 2 days. And this is what I want you to encourage people about, because our goal is 60 companies to get them there.
Mm-hmm.
So could you share some information around just being in the room and a part of the conversation, how that can really help you really change the game for yourself?
First of all, I just have to say, when it makes me so sad to hear our Caribbean friends say they don't see Black Americans coming, selling in the Caribbean, like that's just a shame. I mean, that's just wrong on so many levels. So I'm so happy to hear you taking the step to like correct that, because that is not how it should be. I mean, it should be, in fact, it should be the exact opposite, right? I mean, our Black businesses should be just like crushing it in those markets. And so we've got to get them in there. These sessions, the one in Miami that you're talking about, it's hard to even explain just what a buzz is created, because these aren't the types of conferences where you go and people just talk at you all day and then you go out and like have dinner afterwards. Like this is like everyone around you is someone that you can and probably should be doing business with.
Yes.
Our networking is different. It's there's a lot of expectation. We have to work hard at that networking, and I think that's we're used to networking in challenging environments, and so when you have an opportunity to go to these meetings, I find that it comes very easily, and when you're able to do that, you're connecting with people, and it might not even be the first person you talk to. What we found, I think in Milan, when we were in Milan together, there was one American company on the trip that met with a company from Milan. And then that company from Milan said, hey, I was talking to 2 other of your companies that are also on this trip. And now those 3 American companies are doing a partnership to then serve the international market. So it's you can't know in advance the opportunities that you're missing, because those partnerships, you can't plan for them. They grow organically, but they only happen if you show up, because sometimes 80% of the game is showing up. If you work with our colleagues, as I mentioned, we have offices all over the United States. If you work with our colleagues and express your interest in attending, they would be able to help you sort of make the most of it and get the most out of that kind of event.
So what we're doing, Arun, is these 60 companies, we are rolling into an incubator, and we're going to train them for 12 weeks. So when they hit the ground, they're going to be suited and booted. They're going to be ready to do business, whether it's today or a year or 2 years from now. But we take them through a training program so that they can understand what the conversation is, because a lot of times it's the language, it's the ease. You don't necessarily understand what this means or that means, or what you can ask for, or what. And getting people to a point where they're familiar with and comfortable with the concept of going international. You said there are 100 offices within the U.S., right? About 100. And about 70 overseas. So with the offices in the US, that means, and there's an office near you, right? So whether you live in DC or Houston or Atlanta or a small town, your network is set to cover you if you need help.
And in fact, Melissa, I would say, if I could put in a plug here, on our trade.gov website, you will be able to find the closest office to you. So I would encourage you and your members to please figure out what that closest office is, and call them up, send them an email. They want to hear from you.
This is the level of our training, Arun. Step 1. Well, we actually, on our website, we've listed every office by state on our website. Awesome. So you can click to every office by state, and it's broken down by industry, right? So we wanted to centralize the location, and we link it to your website. So definitely go to trade.gov, and our website can help you as well. Because what we do is we say, okay, first go to this link, identify who your point of contact is. We give them a form email or sample template, and we'll say, go to this location and get your person's information. Send out the email, because what we're doing is we're taking the 60 companies and breaking them up into groups of 10. And then each of them will have a team lead, a team coordinator, and a recording person. And so the goal is to get everybody across the line. And so we're using that same method with going to your partners as well. We're going to the STEP grant offices. We're going to the XM Bank. We're going to all the state commerce offices. We're teaching them the entire ecosystem to go step by step. Because Arun, we're a mission with a company, right? And so we, as a set of people, we can only serve a certain number of people, but the mission is much bigger than we can deliver. We will teach you how to do it for yourself so that you can go out. So now this is what we're going to do, Arun. If we get any hassle or pushback, can we send it to you?
Of course.
Okay.
And please do.
Okay, that's what we want to be able to do. So all of those offices we want to access nationwide. And then now, using the Caribbean as an example, you have offices at the embassies in the different countries around the world, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And you're in charge of both the U.S. offices and the foreign offices.
Yes, exactly. And just remember, right, the idea here is that it's a seamless connection. Like, you have a company that's located in Los Angeles that's going to go to our Los Angeles U.S. field office, that's going to connect to her partner in Milan, who's going to connect to a company in Milan. And so that is, we're trying to do sort of soup to nuts, kind of make that connection happen.
It does. It happens very well. Mm-hmm. I mean, as an experiential user, I can tell you that process happens very well. So let's say we're going to the Caribbean. No, not let's say we're going to the Caribbean. And let's say we choose Jamaica as a location, and there's an embassy in Jamaica, right?
Yep.
And you have an office there.
I think that's right. Yes.
Right. Okay. So tell us about what we can expect from your team in Jamaica, or just as an example. May not be the same everywhere, but what can our members expect?
Sure. So our network, beginning in the U.S. and then going to overseas, right? There's a couple of things that they will help you do. One, as I mentioned, they will help find ways to integrate exporting into your business plan. But and part of that is first understanding your business and identifying the international markets that make sense for you. Barbados may not make sense, but Jamaica might. And if you just think about it from a small business perspective, right? If a small business person has to sit there and do the research and the market research and the market intelligence to figure out the difference between Barbados and Jamaica and who's going to buy their stuff, no, they have day jobs, right? No one's going to do that. We're here to take that burden off of our small businesses. And so we began by thinking, what is the product you're making, or what are you selling? Who might want this? Who might need this? And then help you figure out what those markets are. And then we can figure out what are the ways in which we might connect you to buyers or partners in these foreign markets. So we have services that can help you better make sure that those companies really exist. You know, they're hopefully they'll be reliable. And it's a great way for you to, what it does is it reduces the transaction costs of exporting. The risk, it reduces the risk involved in exporting. And then what we do is we help connect you, whether it's to our state development organizations that might have some funding to help assist, or that might XM, as we talked about, can be so critical to providing export financing, to helping a foreign buyer buy your American good or service. And so we're able to help make that connection. And because on the U.S. side, we often have our U.S. colleagues either located in the same office or very much close to a lot of these other agencies that might be involved. That might include Small Business Administration with their STEP grants. That might include the Minority Business Development Administration. We can connect you to the right sources, whether you need counseling, whether you need funding, whether you need export financing. There's different organizations that can provide different tools. We can sit there in the middle and like pull the right people together to get you all of those, so that you're not out there hunting websites on your own for the first time, trying to figure out what is this alphabet soup. I don't understand any of these agencies. That's what we're hopefully there to help you get through.
Yeah, you really understand small business, because what you said is so true. Even if you want to sell internationally, it is figuring out the steps, doing the market research. It is challenging. So we always tell people, if you're looking for easy, this is not the place to be. If you're looking for lucrative, oh yeah, we can help you there. You can find some international contract opportunities. We just have to keep working to find the right market. Our business model, we're built for the busy entrepreneur, because we ask our clients to give us at least 2 hours a week, no more than 5, depending on your business model. And you're the talent, and we're your international business development team, right? So that's how we come into play, because we do all that legwork, all of the government paperwork, all of those steps. Those are the things that we do. So as you're in Jamaica or Barbados or whichever country you're choosing, your team will actually go out and find potential partners, right? Your team will actually go out and find potential partners to buy my product or my service, and vet them for me, and help me to make sure that they are a business that I can buy from. And the caveat for me, I always say to our clients and our network members, so you have to negotiate on your own. When you get to the table, they're not going to negotiate for you. But when I'm telling you, they'll set the table, open the door, even go to the meetings with you, Arun. That's the thing. When we were in Europe, I felt beyond my tax dollars being taken care of, just the fact that someone would go with me. I didn't have to figure out how to get there. I didn't have to figure out the location or the meeting or all of the soft services. To me, because you're in a different country, you don't know, your mind is just trying to get to the contract. So even those soft services you all provide to help businesses make it easier for us to be able to get that international contract.
Oh, that's so great to hear, Melissa, because I think sometimes we lose sight of that. And sometimes it's those soft services that make this even possible. If you did do this on your own, I can't tell you how many companies we hear from, and including on our minority business focused trade mission that we were on, kept coming up to me saying, it's not only do they feel like the money they paid to do that mission was worth it, they're like, you have no idea. First of all, I could not do this. And even if I tried, it would take up so much of my time and so much of my money to even try to get some contacts and appointments together. And then I don't even know if those appointments would be worthwhile. All of that. And the idea that it is the simple things, like sometimes just having a meeting room, and you don't have to worry about getting the meeting room or those little things, because that allows the small business person to focus on the business.
Yes.
Here's the deal.
Yes.
You're not trying to sit there worrying about logistics of a meeting room. No. You have somewhere to go, you sit, you negotiate, get a deal done, bring it home.
So I'm in the state of Maryland, and I absolutely love our U.S. commercial services person for Black and Global. We have one, and she stays on me, Aisha Booker. I love her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aisha. I love Aisha. And she constantly reminds me, she says, Melissa, you're always so focused on the companies, focus on Black and Global. And I'm like, okay. So she told me to go to U.S. Caribbean business meeting in April in Miami. And when Aisha speaks, Melissa moves, when I'm moving. I went there, my business partner, it was great because it was a precursor. She wanted us to meet in advance, the team. She knew our 2022 agenda was Caribbean. She wanted us to meet in advance, the team that's going to be working on the mission in October to the Caribbean. And so we met so many different people, but one person in particular we met is from a group called Cantos, Cantos. Had never heard of them. And they represent all of the telecommunication companies in the Caribbean, all of them. And so I'm going to show you how this comes full circle. We met with them, and the president came up to me afterwards, and she was like, Melissa, we have to talk because this is so critical. We don't have any Black vendors. She said, we import everything. into the Caribbean for telecommunications, for cell phones. We need app developers. We need inputs. So I was like, okay, yes, this is going to be awesome. So I've been on the hunt mentally for, I've dreamed of a Black cell phone designer. Never saw one, never found one. How about 30 minutes ago, I met someone who showed me a Black cell phone that was designed by a Black man.
Uh-huh. I love
And
it.
I know. I'm so excited. I have goosebumps. So, I was running after him. I was like, wait, I got to take a picture of the phone. Wait, I got to get the name. So he has he has produced a cell phone, not just design. I mean, just an actual phone, and has a telecommunications network. See, I'm telling you, Arun, when I tell you that we have businesses that are doing top level work in this country, and our mission at Black and Global is to reshape the thinking to say, one, sell globally. Two, work with the government. Don't change the narrative that will they help me? Arun is sitting here. He's taking an hour out of his day. I'm preaching now. But, because you've taken an hour out of your day to help us to understand that your doors are open for our businesses, right? And that's the big piece that we want to communicate in this process. Black and Global, we are proof of your services. How about, I think I shared, we were going to open offices in Spain because we went on this trade mission to Italy, Portugal, and Spain, right? We had conversations about opening offices. And so the office in Portugal, we're working on the agreement to open that office now in Portugal. I know.
So, for me, Melissa, like, you go on these missions, and those missions don't matter anything if this doesn't happen. Because then, look, it doesn't always happen on the day of the mission. You might be a first meeting, but what has mattered and what matters the most is that after that mission, people come home, they have follow-up calls and meetings. We know that some people from that mission actually have flown back to Lisbon and Madrid to have follow-up and have closed deals since then. Like, that's the real deal. Like, that is proof positive, right? Those are the metrics that we look for. Like, having 10 companies come, 20 companies come, and that's great. But if those 20 companies come and they didn't get a single business deal out of it, well, that was just a good time we had together. That's not that's not getting the job done. So it's hearing what you're saying and how that is so important. I'm so glad to hear that.
So as we wrap up this conversation, I really wanted to give you the opportunity to share any closing words, any closing thoughts that you may have to share with our community.
Yeah, I think what I might say, Melissa, a few last sort of ideas for your members. One, if it isn't clear from our conversation today, we need you. And what I mean by that is we need you to take advantage of the services that we offer and go out there and get that business that is out there, because that is good for our country, that is good for the community, that is good for everyone. And so we need you guys to do that. But we also need you, as we try to reach Black-owned businesses, as we try to reach underserved communities more broadly, we need you to help us tell us and help us learn where the challenges are. We know that some of the challenges you face are different from the challenges other people might be facing. We need to understand what those challenges are. We need you guys to help us really do that, because we can't pretend to have all the answers. Lord knows we don't. And so we need your help, because once we understand that better from you, we can then figure out how to address those challenges, how to adjust our services to better meet your needs on the ground. The second thing I would say is, again, if it isn't clear from our conversation today, we want you to succeed. It is in our DNA. It is in our passion and our heart. And we want to do that by earning your trust through the top tier client services that we know will enable your growth and success internationally. And that international success is going to help you survive for the long term, not just survive, but like crush it for the long term. And so we're here to help make that happen. The last thing I would say is, as daunting sometimes as exporting can be, I would look at it a little differently. And I would say that as Black-owned businesses, maybe you got an advantage that so many others don't. And what I mean by that is there are hurdles that you've overcome. You have a natural, innate learned also ability to work with different kinds of people because we have to. That's just like I think you know that.
Mhm.
And that is a skill that is so translatable and commercially meaningful when you go out overseas, because once you're already used to dealing with different kinds of people, you can go to Madrid and sell your stuff to some Spanish person. Sure, you can.
Yes. Yes.
And that's an advantage that is just natural, that just work it, use it, because you've got it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Arun, for this wonderful conversation. And we definitely look forward to partnering with you and building through the Department of Commerce. And thank you all for joining us for this fireside chat and conversation. I am Melissa Muhammad, your sister and servant. We are the Black and Global Business Network, globalizing our connections, keeping us in the Black. And we will see you around the globe. Thank you, everybody.